So the San Diego Comic-Con happened this weekend. What was once simply the West Coast Mecca for nerds has grown into the West Coast Mecca for massive ground zero launch pads for Hollywood to lavishly present its biggest upcoming products to what has become one of its most reliable demographics. Nerds! Yes, SDCC is pretty much canon for sci-fi fantasy blockbusters now, and web movie journalists from all over the world converge there to network, watch teasers, trailers, and sometimes even whole films before anyone else get a leg up on the year ahead, and so on. But not me, because somebody had to stay home and review Red 2. No, I was not at Comic-Con, but I did follow all the news as it was breaking, and while I've yet to see a lot of the exclusive footage and clips that dropped in full, I've got a pretty good beat on what went down. And since it's late July and nothing else is happening, okay.
Let's recap Comic-Con!
Naturally, what I was most curious to hear about was Warner Brothers' plans for the post-Man of Steel future, mainly because it feels like they're in a place they weren't expecting to be, and that's interesting. The industry buzz leading into this summer was that the new Superman was another Dark Knight-level mega hit in the making, and Warner's was probably thinking they'd be entering Comic-Con this year as conquerors. Instead, while the film has made a lot of money, it was not the sustained, game-changing hit they were expecting it to be. Plus, the critics savaged it, and instead of excited speculation about, say, who'll play Lex Luthor, the fandom chatter is mostly about whether it betrayed the character of Superman or was too grim for its own good. How do you respond to that if you're Warner Brothers and you want to make more of these movies and have people want to see them? Maybe change the creative team? Reevaluate your approach and rationale for making these movies in a broader and more thoughtful sense? Perhaps paying greater consideration to what originally made the character one of the most iconic in history? Nah, let's just put Batman in it. Batman always works. Yup, announced at Comic-Con by director Zack Snyder himself, Man of Steel 2 will be a Superman-Batman team-up movie, helping to set the stage for Justice League a ways down the road, but before that, The Flash. Yeah, The Flash. Well, that certainly makes sense. I know when I think of the big three, the holy trinity of DC superheroes you absolutely need to get locked into place for a Justice League movie to have any semblance of a real foundation, I think the humble Midwestern farm boy who's secretly the nigh-godlike embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way, the seemingly carefree playboy whose sunny veneer conceals a traumatized spirit of unending vengeance, and the guy who runs pretty fast. On the other hand, disillusioned as I may be, wow, Batman vs. Superman? What a time to be alive. So that was the first of the big ones, but what else happened? Well, the new Godzilla sounds pretty promising. They still haven't released any footage of what he actually looks like to the general public, at least not officially. Some folks are assuming this otherwise unlabeled model on the floor was his head, in which case I like it, but there's really no way to be sure. And I hated Gareth Evans' last giant monster movie, so guess we're just gonna have to hope. The new RoboCop looks like this, and the movie is gonna be PG-13. Boy, that's interesting. Probably need to see and hear more about it to form a reason. No, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Sometimes it's simply impossible to not prejudge these things. The remake of RoboCop is probably going to suck, but let's all try and look surprised anyway. When it sucks, which it almost certainly will. I am trying very, very hard to look forward to Amazing Spider-Man 2, on the basis that the chaotic mess that was the production of the first film has taught its returning team a lot of don't lessons. That said, they are not making this easy for me. Here was a surprise nobody saw coming. Remember how Duncan Jones, the director of Moon and Source Code, was supposedly getting ready to take up the Warcraft movie? Well, it turns out they were already working on it. They even showed everybody a teaser trailer. That's really happening. I'm kinda psyched, and I don't even play World of Warcraft. Duncan Jones doing a huge budget fantasy epic is so damn exciting conceptually, I almost forgot to be grumpy about how bullshit it is that this is happening before the Zelda movie. That is still kinda bullshit, though. Futurama is gone for real this time. That's bad. But they're going to do a crossover with The Simpsons. That's good. And then The Simpsons is going to do a crossover with Family Guy. That's... you know what? Don't hate. I bet that'll be really funny. Brian drinking at Moe's, that could be damn awesome. It'll be like Cartoon Wars, only it's official, and not a preachy, self-righteous, ego-stroking oversimplification of an immensely complicated issue. And, of course, Marvel had a panel, though at this point they might as well just start calling Marvel events at Comic-Con victory laps. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, will apparently drop Cap into the morally confused world of a Bourne-style spy thriller. That sounds like fun. Thor the Dark World is looking... who cares what it looks like? Loki's back. Guardians of the Galaxy still looks like the riskiest damn thing even this studio could have possibly bet on. An action comedy that seems to be aiming for Firefly, but with a nastier sense of humor. And a main character named Rocket Raccoon. And, of course, we found out what Avengers 2 is going to be called. Remember how we all figured we knew who the next big Avengers villain was going to be? Well, we were wrong. Ultron. Holy crap. That is awesome. Ultron is, you know what, we'll have plenty of time for that closer to the movie. Short version, Avengers vs. Terminator. I'm down. And there you go. My next few years look a little busy. I'm Bob, and that's the big picture.